Hello everyone, this is the Life with Eugene channel, and I, of course, am Eugene. This is a very important day, December 7th, 2011. 70 years ago to the date, we were attacked by the Empire of Japan in a place that was not yet a state, in a place that was ill-prepared to deal with what was coming, but shone through with dignity, with honor, and with great respect. On this date, put down your iPods and your iPhones and your technology, your computers and all of that, and have a moment of silence to remember those soldiers that died to keep you free, to keep that red, white, and blue flying in the wind. December 7th, 1941, over 300 Japanese Zeros and many, many battleships, the bulk of the Imperial Japanese fleet, attacked Pearl Harbor. And many died. Many, many died. That morning there were soldiers that were lying in bed. Some of them were getting up to breakfast, and others were going about their daily business as usual, as required, raising up the American flag with pride, and knowing that they were on free soil and in the greatest nation on the planet. But little did they know that there was a wind coming, a wind of change, a forced change that was going to be put upon our nation. And that was the attack on Pearl Harbor. And as a young person, I really, I look at the American flag, and I don't just see a piece of cloth or a pretty flag with stars and stripes. I see the red, white, and blue that flew in the wind, where the blood was spilled to keep that flag up in the air, flying free, as a message to all people, all freedom-loving men and women and children, that we are indeed continuously free. That even though we faced much adversity and we faced a world war, our soldiers showed the best of their ability to fight to keep our nation free. And it really moves me and brings a tear to my eye to know that I am free and I am able to speak to you on this channel and be able to express my opinions to you because of what those great soldiers did in that war. But it all began on December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, as the great President Franklin Delano Roosevelt put it. We were suddenly and deliberately attacked by the Empire of Japan. It was absolutely horrendous. But through all of that adversity, our soldiers jumped up on those battleships, ran to those aeroplanes, and fought. Even though they knew it was a losing battle, they continued to fight on to the very last man, and they would not give up. They would not give up our soil and our freedom and our love of freedom so easily. We have faced adversity as Americans throughout history, all dating all the way back to the founding of our nation, when a handful of soldiers decided enough was enough. A handful of regular people, you and me, we the people, said enough was enough. We were tired of the taxes, tired of the unfair treatment without representation from our British occupiers. So we thrust up our weapons, we thrust up our freedom, and we said enough was enough. And we went out there on the battlefield and we fought hard. And through all of that, a new nation was born, a great nation. And I see so many comments and so many people nowadays bashing the red, white, and blue about how horrible we are, about how terrible we are. But need I remind you that if it was not for this greatest nation in the world, you would not even have internet to be able to comment on any of this. You would not have the freedom to be able to speak your opinion about anything. You would be under oppression and tyranny in a world that would not know the first 10 amendments of our Constitution, the basic Bill of Rights. But that's on another day. This day we remember the first battle that ushered us into a war that threatened our freedom, that threatened our very way of life. And that was the battle at Pearl Harbor. And some historians will tell you that it was a terrible, horrendous loss. Some historians will tell you many lives were lost. But I tell you that in the end, I believe in the hearts of every American it was a victory, because it showed that even though we faced much adversity, we still stayed up to those guns, we still stayed to our battleships, and we fought to the very last man. Songs were created then in World War II, specifically on that day, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, which is interesting, but it's a song that I truly enjoy, and it really shows the American heart and the American spirit, that we're praising our Creator that gave us our freedom, and we're fighting to keep our nation free. We need to go back to that wonderful pride that we had. It was in TV shows and movies, and children would look up to our soldiers and consider them heroes. You had your G.I. Joes, and you had your John Waynes in the different World War II movies, bringing pride to every American that watched it. An age of innocence. And in all of this technology, with all of this movies and shows on demand and iPods and iPads and all of these different technologies that we enjoy, have we become so comfortable that we lost what the true meaning of what this great nation is? Have we lost the appreciation of what our soldiers in the past have done? I pray not, and I hope not. I hope that as you wake up today and breathe another day of freedom, that you look up at that red, white, and blue, and you see that it is still flying free, and men and women and children can do as they please. There are questionable things that happen that seem to take away our freedom, but as Americans, the government is not the people. We are the people. The government is not in control. We are in control. And a nation that faces adversity, as they did at Pearl Harbor, will always rise to the occasion to keep the beacon of freedom and the light of the world alive. So let us celebrate this day. Let us be sad this day. And let us thank every veteran that we see on the streets. Thank them, appreciate them, shake their hand, give them a hug, and tell them that we still stand by them, and we still stand by the greatest nation on the planet. At this time, we should have a moment of silence to remember those who died at Pearl Harbor, to keep our nation free through great adversity. Enjoy today, December 7th, 2011, because 70 years ago, blood was spilled to keep you free and to have you continue to be free. So as I said, thank a veteran. Go out there and show appreciation, and always remember that you live in the greatest nation in the world, a nation that is unrivaled by any, a nation that had its firsts of freedoms. Never take any freedom that you have for granted. Always be proud of the red, white, and blue, because the red, white, and blue is always true. I love you all, and I hope you have a good December 7th. And always remember that fateful day, December 7th, 1941, a date which will truly live in infamy, but a date which will be remembered in every peace-loving, freedom-loving American's hearts. We shall never forget, and I know this American right here will never forget. God bless America. God bless you all.